Story 2. It is related that an old man, having married a girl, and I presume they mean young woman, was sitting with her privately in an apartment adorned with roses, fixing his eyes and heart upon her. He did not sleep during long nights, but spent them in telling her jokes and witty stories, hoping to gain her affection and to conquer shyness. One night, however, he informed her that luck had been friendly to her and the eye of fortune awake, because she had become the companion of an old man who was ripe, educated, experienced in the world, and of a quiet disposition, who had felt cold and warm, had tried good and bad, who knows the abilities of companionship, is ready to fulfill the conditions of love, is benevolent, kind, good-natured, and sweet-tongued. As far as I am able, I shall hold thy heart, and if injured, I shall not injure in return. Though sugar may be thy food as of a parrot, I shall sacrifice sweet life to thy support. Thou hast not fallen into the hands of a giddy youth, fun of winds, headstrong, fickle-minded, running about every moment in search of another pleasure and entertaining another opinion, sleeping every night in another place and taking every day another friend. Young men are joyous and of handsome countenance, but constant in fidelity to anyone. Expect not faithfulness from nightingales who sing every moment to another rose. Contrary to aged men who spend their lives according to wisdom and propriety, not according to the impulses of folly in youth, find one better than thyself and consider it fortunate, because with one like thyself thou wilt be disappointed. The old man said, I continue in this strain, thinking that I had captivated her heart, and that it had become my prey. She drew, however, a deep sigh from her grief-filled heart, and said, all the words thou hast uttered, weighed in the scales of my understanding, are not equivalent to the maxim I once heard announced in my tribe. An arrow in the side of a young woman is better than an old man. And of course, that sort of thing's defined differently in different cultures, but you know, we need to stop being so ageist, right? When she perceived in the hands of her husband something pendant-like, the nether lip of a fasting man, she said, this fellow has a corpse with him, but incantations are for sleepers, not for corpses. Like the nether lip. Okay. I don't even really notice the difference, the nether lip of a fasting man. Okay, but a woman who arises without satisfaction from a man will raise many a quarrel and contention. An old man who is unable to rise from his place, except by the aid of a stick, how can his own stick rise? Tumbling. In short, there being no possibility of harmony, a separation at last took place. When the time of the ladies' udat had terminated, well, if they didn't consummate the marriage, there's no such thing in Islam as a waiting period for those who don't consummate the marriage. She was given in marriage to a young man who was violent, ill-humored, and empty-handed. She suffered much from his bad temper and tyrannical behavior, and experienced the miseries of penury. She nevertheless said, praise be to Allah for having been delivered from that wretched torment and obtained this permanent blessing. Despite of all this violence and hasty nature, I shall try to please thee because thou art beauteous. To be with thee in hell burning is for me better than to be with the other in paradise. The smell of an onion from the mouth of a pretty face is indeed better than a rose from an ugly hand. A nice face and a gown of gold brocade, essence of roses, fragrant aloes, paint, perfume, and lust. All these are ornaments of women. Take a man and his testicles are a sufficient ornament. Yeah, I remember how a woman that I could have married if, and she ended up marrying a guy who beat her, and probably still with her, right? With him, right?